Barca to replace team legend Cavani signs extension. There's Champions League final chases, Juventus face Serie A exit, and the transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, Barcelona apparently contemplating replacing a club legend. Well, replacing him in the starting lineup, maybe keeping Sergio Busquets in and around the squad for just a few years longer. The 33-year-old has struck up quite a relationship in the midfield with the likes of Pedri and Frenkie de Jong, but of course, time isn't exactly on his side. So they're looking at 18-year-old Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes because, well, who isn't looking at him? Every single top club has been linked with the French wonder kid because he has refused to sign a contract extension which runs out in 2022, and losing him on a free would be absolutely criminal. So they're probably going to sell him this summer for a reduced fee. Now, when it comes to, like I mentioned, the relationship at Barcelona with the likes of Sergio Busquets, everyone knows what a brilliant player he's been for them, what a fantastic influence he has around the squad, and he's also one of the team captains, so getting rid of him altogether isn't exactly the best idea. The thing about bringing Camavinga in is that it really gives them a perfect opportunity for Busquets to kind of hand over the role slowly and blood Camavinga into the team. Not forgetting, like I said, he is just 18 years old, despite the fact he has pretty good experience at Champions League level already. When it comes to the signing of Frenkie de Jong, I thought he was the natural replacement for Busquets, but when you've seen de Jong, especially this season, he's so much more. It's not to say that Busquets can't do other things, but de Jong can get forward with great box-to-box energy. He's got fantastic dribbling as well. He's far more dynamic and athletic than Busquets is, so to sort of give him the Busquets role for the next however many years and almost restrict him to just that deep-lying, tempo-controlling playmaker role wouldn't necessarily be the best use of his talents. That's why I think de Jong could play a little bit further forward alongside the likes of Pedri or whoever else they've got in midfield. There's Alenia, of course, Ricky Puig as well. Don't know if he'll stay at the club. And having Camavinga as that central defensive midfielder to do all sorts of mopping up at the back and playing the ball forward just seems to fit. Of course, if in an ideal scenario for Barcelona, you're looking at Camavinga, Pedri and de Jong. I think de Jong's the oldest there at 23 maybe, or 22. Pedri and Camavinga are still teenagers. That would be a midfield three to be settled for like a decade. Obviously, assuming they don't drop out of form, but all three of them are showing ridiculous promise in their careers so far. As I mentioned, for the money, with 1 year left, considering it's been a difficult time for most clubs, and on top of this, considering it's an extremely difficult time for many clubs in Liga specifically, I can't see them holding out for anything more than 40 million. Moving on though, and talking of a transfer deal, now we're moving on to a contract extension, and that of Edinson Cavani. Who knew that the free transfer from PSG in his mid-30s would become such a big deal, but such has been importance for Manchester United. At the moment, and United fans want to hear from you in the comment section down below, would Edinson Cavani, providing everyone in the United squad is fully fit, would he make your starting 11? At the beginning of the season, it was clear he was brought in as a backup. There was Rashford on the left, Martial through the middle, Dan James / Greenwood on the right. They were obviously looking at signing Sancho. But now I'm starting to think that Cavani is definitely the first choice striker, and it clearly shows. His influence on the squad has been brilliant. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer absolutely loves having him around, and apparently the last few months he's seen how important he is, and he's really eager to play in front of a packed Old Trafford, so he's decided to reject the 2-year offer from Boca Juniors in Argentina and stay at Manchester United for 1 more year. He seems to think they can achieve something big, and well, they've got the Europa League final to come. They've sealed Champions League football. In fact, he scored a header, a brilliant header, against Aston Villa to seal a top 4 finish for next season, and things are going really well, so why on earth would he want to quit or maybe wind down his career just now? Next up though, and from the Europa League final to the Champions League final, which looks like it's going to be changing venues again. This is now Tuesday morning, and by the time this video comes out, we may already have a final decision because of Turkey being on the red list for English fans and English players to travel to because of Corona quarantine guidelines. The Champions League final was officially touted to be moved to Wembley. This, of course, will make a lot of sense because both of the finalists are coming from England, but that may not happen. It looks like the final will be set to be played in Porto. That is, of course, because Portugal does not have all the quarantine regulations coming from England that Turkey does at the moment. And in all honesty, this is such a shame for Turkey. Turkey is an absolute football-mad country, and on top of this, the Atatürk Stadium in Istanbul has so much footballing history, no less than the 2005 Champions League final, Liverpool's ridiculous comeback and the penalty shootout. There's so much footballing history there, it's such a shame for them to lose out on this one. on top of this, we don't really want to set the precedent that if, let's say it's not in Porto, it's in Wembley, that just because two teams have got to the final from the same country, they just end up playing it there anyway. Like, of course, I know it's a lot to do with the pandemic going on around the world, but 1 year from now, if, I don't know, Barcelona or Real Madrid were to make it to the Champions League final, they'd probably find there's some sort of people lobbying saying, we're both from Spain, we might as well just play it in Spain anyway. You don't want that to happen. This is the glory of the Champions League. The fact is for the whole of Europe. Next up then, and actually talking of the Champions League and Serie A, and a big team in Serie A who may not be in the competition next season, that is Juventus. According to the Italian Federation President Gabriele Gravina, if Juventus do not withdraw from the European Super League officially, they will be kicked out of Serie A for next season. Well, he said by the time registration comes around, which is in the next few months. This would be unthinkable. So with the European Super League, as we've mentioned loads of time in the last few weeks, 9 of the teams, including all 6 Premier League teams, have pulled out. They will combined pay a fee of around 15 million euros into various charities and grassroots football around Europe. That is their punishment. But Juventus, Barcelona and Real Madrid have yet to officially withdraw. There is no word just yet from La Liga on what the punishment will be, but I can't help but thinking, and this is no disrespect to Juventus at all, Serie A without Juventus has still got some massive teams, especially if they're going to finish outside of the Champions League. I mean, it happened before when Juventus were relegated after that whole Calciopoli scandal, like 2005-06. Serie A without Juventus still has quite a number of attractions. Of course, it doesn't have their biggest club in terms of historical success. It will be without Cristiano Ronaldo as well. But if La Liga was to do the same and lose Barcelona and Real Madrid, that is massive. They are the 2 biggest teams in the country by far. Obviously, not at the moment, Atletico Madrid at the top of the table, but in terms of history, fan base success, all this, that and the other. That would be such a massive miss. I'm not sure it would be as big a miss, even though it is still massive for Juventus to be out of Serie A. Personally, if they are going to punish them, if Juve do not withdraw from the Super League, I feel like it might be an expulsion for a year, or like another massive fine. I really can't see them putting in that massive call of kicking them out of the competition altogether. Anyway, moving on lastly to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Bernd Leno and Hector Bellerin are apparently both being put up for sale by Arsenal this summer. AC Milan are interested in making Fikayo Tomori's loan deal from Chelsea a permanent one over the next few weeks. In a never-ending search for Jose Mourinho's replacement, Tottenham have reportedly made contact with Belgian boss Roberto Martinez. And lastly but not least, Andres Iniesta has signed a new 2-year deal with Vissel Kobe on today, his 37th birthday. Happy birthday, Andres, one of the best to ever do it. So there you have it then, that is all from me. Make sure you check out everything else we've got going on, and until next time, I will see you guys later.